Welcome to the video with me, the midlife simster, embracing gaming incompetence. So, basically the plan is here to restart a new save on Snowrunner. Going to play with the most basic settings, not going to change anything up too much. Obviously this game's a couple of years old now, so not expecting to set the world on fire with anything. This is mainly for people like myself who, a couple of weeks ago when I picked this game up, because it came on sale, didn't have a clue. A lot of the videos were quite, almost as if I had an understanding of the game. It's quite a detailed game in parts. So if I can help even just, 2 or 3 people just by chance over time, then absolutely great. As the short video explains about what this channel is all about, it's going to be about the game, but it's also just going to be about me just talking about stuff in life in general, and hopefully just setting up an opportunity really for us to engage and have a chat in the comments, ignore the haters, and have a good time. So let's make a start. So when we start off the game, we've got the good old Chevy by here. Move the handbrake, start the engine. These are what we call you're going to find these are the scout vehicles, basically. It's in the title, really. What I found in my first playthrough was like these scout cars. Like basically, I was sticking to the roads with them a lot too much. And really what you should do with the scout cars is get off road as kind of much as you can. Because had I just gone around the side there, this thing would have probably blown through this little section. But hey ho, we'll make a move up here. So we'll box on. First job is to get up to the Watchtower, pick that up there. As I said, basically this is going to be playing the game all standard, no changes to the settings in any way, shape or form. Some people will like that, some people won't. So the first time I played this game through, I went with the kind of the grind option, I suppose you would call it. I stuck with the original vehicles that I have and found, and I basically have played through pretty much, I'd say 90% of this map. I don't know, probably 70% of Alaska, and a little bit of the 1 or 2 of the others, before I just had to come back and have a go at this map again. Obviously the game now is going to tell us about reading terrain and trying to avoid it and things like that, and you've got this detour up here. I spent ages with every vehicle going around this, fearing what was down there. Never actually went through it until pretty late on in my my first playthrough, and as it turns out, there is basically very little to fear here, to save you having to go around it. So as long as you don't come absolutely mewling into it, then you'll be fine. First tip of the day, never drive past a fuel station without stopping and fueling up unless you know you're coming straight back to it. So swing by, pick up my fuel, good habits, off we go. I'd love to know who sings about that millionaire in the background. So yeah, in this playthrough the idea is going to be that I'm going to sort of treat this more like a game than a simulator or anything like that. Oh, why am I coming up here? I should have... so I'm talking to you guys. I'm not paying any attention to what I'm meant to be doing. We meant to go down there. Unbelievable. Yeah, won't be treating it too much like a simulator, but we'll get into the kind of more specific parts of that as we get through the video. And I am going to do something which, like I say, having put in a fair few hours already, I'm gonna do something that's gonna basically prevent the grind, because we're basically, I've said basically a lot, we're essentially gonna finish off this opening section now, which is kind of like the base game tutorial, and then we're going to do a quick couple of tasks, I think, as we'll need a bit of extra money, but then we're going to sell everything, and we're going to go and get a truck from one of the other regions and bring it back here. Yeah, found our first Watchtower, sweet. And that will just make the grind so much easier on this first map. Yeah, a lot of people say that's not playing the spirit of the game, and there is nothing saying to anyone, you know, that you should or should not play it in certain ways. I do like the idea that a lot of people have, that you play this game and you just use the trucks from the regions. I think that's quite an interesting way to play it. There's loads of things in the settings you can change up, which we'll talk about later on. But for me, it's just about enjoying the game, and having played through the grind as much as I loved it. I'm not going to love it a second time around, so I'd like to make it just a little bit easier, so we can try and smash through these opening sort of 3 maps, and then get into the DLC stuff and the season pass map. So let's launch this then, open up the map a little bit for us as per the tutorial. Happy days. So what this is saying now is we've done our Watchtower, we've got to go and get to the truck. So what I was talking about earlier in terms of these scouts, anyway, I'm marking your way. The first time I played this, I'd stick the scouts to the road. I'd also use the waypoints kind of like quite heavily like this. I'm gonna come away from doing that. I do use them still here and there, just as a bit of a kind of reference, but nowhere near as much as I used to. So what we're going to do is we're just going to basically push our way through the trees by there. You'll notice when I stop then, handbrake on, engine off. For ages I didn't do that, and then I noticed Mr. CLP, or the aforementioned Mr. CLP, was doing it all the time, and it does make a lot of sense, because believe it or not, it won't seem like it in these first kind of couple of stages, in these first few vehicles, but fuel is life in this game, and certainly the bigger trucks, oh no, absolutely no turn there, the bigger trucks will guzzle the stuff, even just sat stationary. So it's always worth, if you're going to be sitting stationary for a minute or two, knocking the engine off. Just good habits. Well, so we found our first truck. Jump across into the change truck. Something that threw me for a long time with these is you can't get out of the truck, which is a bit strange. You just move in between the trucks. That takes a bit of getting used to. The other thing I should talk about, especially with the trucks, is most games with your steering. When you steer, you turn it the one way, and then the game will just return it back to the center point. It does not do that in this game. I'm guessing it's essentially a realism thing. So it takes a bit of getting used to this steering system. Now, as I'm getting used to it, I guarantee I will oversteer this truck several times. However, you can change that in the settings if you want, but I would suggest you do it early doors and then you just go with it. So either accept base settings and just adjust playing to it. You may find it a lot easier to drive initially, the trucks especially, in the cabin view, if you can put up with the hands flying past your face. Again, another option you can turn off in the settings. So yeah, just be aware of that. It does take a bit of getting used to. So our task here is, what we've got to do is switch to the contracts tab. Fine. So we pick up our contracts, all bridge reconstruction. Great. Click on that, happy days. Something I didn't even pick up on before is when you go into these contracts or the tasks on that top bar, move up and down, click on the first one, it'll take you to the old bridge, for example, like that. They're already there. So if I come away from that, just click back, it'll show you where your delivery is going to. But if you click on the item you're meant to be delivering, it'll show you where you can get it from. that genuinely took me a little while to realise I could do that, because it was quite a pain. The other option, and it's kind of the longer way around really, but it may help you pick out your route, because this really should be called like logistics runner or planner runner, is if you go up to these places where you can pick up your items, if you right click the R3, the right stick down, it'll tell you in that storage zone there I can collect metal beams. Now if there is a number of items there, it would highlight all those things as well, so it just allows you to kind of plan a little bit better. So anyway, if we go back into this, there's our contract. We'll activate it down the bottom with the pressing the right on the D-pad, repairing the bridge. There we are, additional marks as told you. You can all read that in your own time whilst you're playing through the game, or washing mugs or whatever it is you're doing. Right, let's go. I honestly, I love doing the dishes in the kitchen and watching YouTube videos of games. I really do. Typical bloke. I am awful at putting the dishes away, but I do like washing the dishes, and it gives me that little bit of sort of time out to watch like those videos that I told you about that I enjoy. Whilst we're heading up to the town now to go and get these metal beams, give you a little bit of background about myself, I suppose. See the oversteer there? I told you I would. As I said, so I'm in my 40s, in my midlife. I've got a young family in the house, busy jobs, quite difficult, quite stressful at times, a lot of the time. So I do use kind of gaming as my release from that. Really does help me with my mental health. The gaming styles I like are large open world, single player. I'm not much into too much online gaming. And yeah, just something I can just kind of pick up, go at my own pace, and then even if after a few days away or whatever, or a week away, I can quite easily come back to it, really, and just pick up where I left off without too much thinking, what was I trying to do here? Right, let's get this cargo on here. Again, just pay notice, you'll notice there metal beams that'll show you how many boxes, like, so that's basically slots of your trailer that an item is going to take up. So it's quite useful when you're kind of planning routes to try and look ahead and have a look at those. In the game, we'll stumble across that naturally as we kind of go through. I'm not going to use any waymarks at the moment because, like I say, I've played this map after death. Oh, that's tight. So I'm pretty good at knowing certainly this area where I'm going. It's pretty simplistic, and then back down the square and back down the main road. So yeah, no need for way markers just yet. But yeah, so really, like, just like listening to those sort of videos of sorting out a little bit about yourself there. Primarily, before this game came along a couple of weeks ago in my life, I'm gonna break my own rule, go past it, but we are coming straight back past in a minute. Before this game came into my life a couple of weeks ago, the only game I played of any sort of kind of comparable profession was Farming Simulator, which is where all this sort of YouTube stuff began for me, listening to Daggerwin and Farmer Cop and Mr. Sealy P again. You can tell I like Mr. Sealy P. And just, listening to those guys, just chatting away, just playing the game, minding their own business. Yeah, giving you kind of an idea of how to play it and why they're doing what they're doing, but without it really being very often they're not walkthroughs and things like that. Here we are, building a bridge. Happy days. Excellent, bridge is on its way, but we need more stuff. So we need to go back up the town, drop down and pick up those wooden planks. And yeah, and I've spent the kind of last maybe, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years listening to those guys play these games, delving back into then sort of games I might like. I put Snowrunner off for a long time. I didn't really think it'd be my kind of cup of tea. And then I noticed that Mr. Sealy P had played the updated sort of Mud Runner version. I can't remember the game now, but the one that just recently came out. And then went back through his older videos, spotted that he'd done a Snowrunner series, started watching that just to think, oh, I wonder what it's all about then. And like, just watched a couple of episodes and just thought, I'm gonna have to get that game because I know I'm gonna like it. But this game it really does cater towards a certain type of person, much like most sort of sim games do, I suppose. You know, this isn't fast paced, it isn't high action, high octane or anything like that. This is methodical, sometimes genuinely, like, you know, frustratingly boring because you are going 1 mile an hour through some horrible conditions, dragging whatever, you know, kind of trailer or load that you've got on the truck behind you. So yeah, you know, it is a grind. It's a slow grind of a game. But I just love it. I really, really do love it. It just soothes the soul playing this for me. So right, here we are at the Olympiad. Now in the background you can see that little up arrow again. That's something it took me ages to realise, that if there are if there's cargo out in the real world in the map for you that you could also use, that it doesn't necessarily have to be collected from this like these locations, like the specific like factories or warehouses or whatever, then I'll show you with that up arrow that that's a place to go and pick up the items. Now yes, there are 2 in that trailer. We could take that. I'm not going to. I'm gonna leave it there. Or am I? Because for me to work, I'm going to need to sell a couple of trailers. No, do you know what? Yeah, okay. We're gonna take it, and I'm gonna have to remember to bring a trailer back over with me on the next pass through. It's a shame I didn't think about this, because could have, again, logistics runner style, we could have, oops, we could have just gone and got our metal beams and then come down here and gotten the wooden planks. But hey ho, such is this game. The best players you'll find just are so good at planning their routes or routes, and what they're going to do, and that really is what makes you good at this game, is that ability to just plan out the most efficient way of doing things. Now as we get through the game, what you'll find is the longer you're into the game you get, the more complicated the tasks and the contracts get, the more items you need to take on each kind of trip and things. You'll end up seeing people on videos and stuff that are like really like overloading their trucks, really overloading the trucks, and you know, stacking things up and completely unrealistic. I'm not going to play this game wholly realistically, but I am also not going to play it to that extent where I'm just chucking like huge generators on top of steel piles and then putting 3 packs of wooden planks on top of that as well. So we end up having some sort of like 2-3 story building on the road. Now already here I'm stuck, which is just great. I wish there was a better method of aiming with that winch, I've got to be honest. It takes a little bit of We'll practice that. And again, something you're going to get used to. Why is my L1 flashing? What have I missed that it wants me to do? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, anyway. So the reason we take this trade, like I say, is my kind of short-term plan is once we've completed this tutorial... Ah, there's the oversteer again, see? This kind of like weird, like, sort of reverse fishtail. Anyway, once we've completed the tutorial, it's basically going to be a case of selling everything that we've got. And then going to Russia and buying one of the game's best trucks. Now, there will be people who played this who will say, you know, you shouldn't be doing that, you should be just using the trucks you get, it's kind of cheating. And I get it, I do totally get it. It's not a game breaker, but it is a game changer, that truck we're going to buy. Because it does make life a lot easier. I do actually, if you are genuinely new to the game, I would suggest you do the first, you know, good few hours of base game with the trucks that you're finding, and we get early doors, as opposed to following what I'm going to do and heading out to Russia to bring back one of the kind of not later game trucks, I suppose, but certainly one of the better trucks. Because it'll just give you a better grasp and experience as well of the game. But having done, like I say, most of this map now, I know how much of a kind of early grind it is, and as rewarding as it felt doing it, I've got no intention of doing it a second time. So let's knock this up a sec. Okay, let's get these in. Nice little cutscene, happy days. So we've gone through the rank. That's another thing that I'll touch on very quickly if you're brand new to the game, is the ranking system. It'll allow you to get better upgrades on your trucks and scouts. It'll also unlock some of the vehicles that you won't actually find out in the maps. So I didn't realise that until quite late on, and I could have been buying better trucks without realising it. So just keep an eye on what it does unlock for you, because I certainly haven't found an easy kind of way for it to see what it's given me. Again, talking about the XP and how that it works. So there we are, we've repaired the bridge, happy days. The next objective now, finding the garage. So again, don't need to do much in terms of looking on the map. I know where I'm going. I came down this the other day on my original playthrough here, and I went absolutely flying off there, because after playing many hours, I was at a faster truck than this one with we've got a heavy load in the back of it. So I'm coming down the hill, I'm just like, oh, I've never put it in neutral before in this game. Why do we even have neutral? I suppose maybe it's drop it into neutral on the downhills, you know, save a bit of fuel, happy days. I put it into neutral as I came over that brow, and oh man, did I regret it, because we nailed it through there, flipped the truck, lost the load out the back of it, and it was just an absolute pain then to sort that out, because I had to come tip the truck back over, but I needed a truck with a crane then to pick up the items that had, the load that had spilled out the back of it. So yeah, absolute idiotic decision, which undoubtedly I will make plenty of during the series, because again, as the quote goes on the channel, we are here to embrace gaming incompetence. Come on, truck, get out of that mud, get going. So we're going to go all the way along here now, get back to the garage, go through, finish off the tutorial, and then see where we're at with our money once we've sold a couple of trailers and bits and bobs. I still think we'll probably have to do a little bit in terms of tasks. So we may do a little bit of the grind with the Chevrolet and one of the trucks just to be safe and get ourselves some extra dollar. Pay attention to the road, you fool. Look at me looking that way. Angled straight off into the boulder. Dear me. Dear me. First time I played this game, and I came along here. I was probably in this truck. I wasn't towing the trailer, but in this truck, kind of like, oh yeah, here we go. I jumped the cab and it's like, oh, water over the road again. Not dissimilar to what we saw up by the garage. And I'm like, right, okay. And I'm really cautious, and I'm nice and slow and stuff. I'm telling you, if this is your first time playing this game, you can just leather it through here all the time. There is nothing to be concerned about there. And I went through there about 3 miles an hour. I just love the way that like this map looks and this game plays out. I really do. So here we are anyway at our first garage. So again, it's just, it seems so simple now to me. Maybe that's why when I was watching these YouTubers, I'm going to be like them. I'm going to just assume an understanding that people don't have. But I found it all really complicated, and this is quite just takes a bit of, it's not complicated, it just takes a bit of getting used to, I suppose. So here we are at the garage then. First upgrade in front of us here, which we can pick that up, which is great. Upgrades are out in the world. They are the be all and end all really when you're looking for stuff. Sooner you upgrade your trucks, the easier life is going to be. So we'll move past that truck that we're going to get our hands on in a moment. Discover the garage, complete the contract parts. I think what we'll do actually first, I don't want to drag this here. Not really thinking, I'm too busy chatting away. That is the one bad thing about this game. The camera collision is horrific around buildings. Yeah, real bad, real bad. So trailer store, happy days. Come back to the trailer store in terms of talk about it in depth, because there is a really commonly known kind of hack, really, I suppose, and I do use it because it's the play style. But on this setting, the short version is you get to buy and sell your trailers and sell them back for exactly the same price as you bought them. Same with the trucks, you buy them, sell them back for the same price. We're going to sell that side trailer. Just to give you a quick example, if I was to buy the fuel carrier, the fuel is obviously free, it doesn't charge you for anything. Go into here, I could refill my truck, put it all back up nicely, happy days, full tank of fuel. And then, oops, I do that all the time, I press up instead of square. I'm sorry, it's going to annoy you, trust me, it annoys me. Go back into the fuel carrier, sell the fuel carrier, that's what I bought it for. So I've now got full tank of fuel, fuel carrier has been sold. I'm no worse off. The only way I can live with it is the fact that the majority of the time these things are at locations that you could argue in the real world would have a supply of parts, fuel, oil, whatever it might be. Because it's the same with, see, I just again open the trailer store, pressed up, trailer store square. It's the same with repairing your truck. So if you look at here with a service trailer, I don't know if we've got any damage on this truck at the moment, but if we go into our repair, no, we don't. I'm going to repair. But I bought that repair trailer now. I'd repair the truck, and then just go. See, I did it again. Go straight back in, sell it, happy days, gone. So anyway, we'll be doing that throughout the game. We'll talk about it a bit more as the series progresses, and each time we do it, we'll probably have a little bit of a discussion. 3 trucks here. We're going to be selling these guys. We can't sell the curtain side one there on our right as we look at it. We can sell the service truck here, so we'll attach that. Come along, my pretty. Swing through all this. Bosh, sell that. I mean, I discovered the trailer, get the XP. I find that you got to drive it. I think it's a good thing, really. Drive these trailers, get a little bit of XP. Whoa, overseer. So let's head back in here. Move this into the garage. Happy days. Again, allow you guys to do what you need to do. Let's just finish this tutorial off. So fly through this. You guys can have a read of that if you are playing for the first time when it comes up on your screen. The idea here is that this garage basically acts as a place to store your vehicles. And what you will then do is by pressing square and retaining the vehicle, you're essentially putting into kind of like storage. So there we are, now placing truck storage, and you're ready to go travel to the global map with triangle. If your vehicle is in the garage, then it is in that garage. If you then travel to another map, then it is not in storage for you to then tip it into a different garage, I suppose, if that makes sense. Again, just something that kind of isn't abundantly clear initially, I suppose. So trucks in storage, into the global map like it wants us to do, off to North Alaska, find the garage, which we've got there, double X, off we go. And again, just flying through this tutorial really, just so we can get into the kind of meat and bones of the game. Go into here. I'll come back to all those trucks in the DLC in a minute. Welcome to Alaska. Thanks very much. Now, we're not ready to deal with Alaska. We're not even close to ready to deal with Alaska. However, what I can do, which is quite good, I hadn't really thought of, is discover this trailer. Am I close enough? Yes, I am. Discover this trailer, head back to the Alaska trailer store. Go into there, find it in the list. There she is. Sell that. We're going to put this one straight back in the garage. Save me driving on the front. We're just going to recover it to this garage. Chuck it back into storage. Global map. Back to Michigan. And back to our garage. So at this point, you've completed your tutorial. The map is yours to play with as you see fit. It's very much open world, and how you want to then, take on the game is kind of completely up to you. What we're going to do here is jump into the local map. We'll go to that truck that's outside, and it's obviously completely broken. If you look at the damage, absolutely kaput. However, you only got to drag it a matter of feet with one of your other trucks at the moment, which I would then put it into the space to put it into the garage. So it seems a little pointless going through all that. So we're just going to recover it. Is it cheating? Yeah, probably. Is it worth crying over when it's a matter of feet like that? No, it really isn't. So we'll just chuck that into the garage. Now, again, I'm not going to kind of labour this too much, but when you go into the customization, you'll kind of figure it all out for yourselves. You'll see all the kind of hints and tips for each area. What I need to do here is, if there's any part that's been upgraded, then I need to put it back to its most basic and sell the upgrade. And I think because we found that upgrade, so there's an upgrade there, so see, we could stick the upgrade on it, and then we've got a spare rear wheel drive. option on the truck. So we're going to sell that basically to earn a little bit back.
A few moments later.
Sorry about that. Little cutscene there for me to go and sort out some of my children. So yeah, basically what we're saying here is inside the garage and your customizations is selling each basically part back to the garage that you're not using. So we'll put the rear wheel drive back on, but we're going to sell the upgrade that we found for this truck, because that'll give us an extra 4,200. The frame add-ons on this truck are nothing. It's empty, is it? Yes. Okay, cool. There's nothing else on it, so we chuck it into the truck storage. From there we can see then that it's going to be valued at 30,000, so we're to sell that. Happy days, like so. If we then deploy this one, the GMC into customers, just double check. Yes, we'll change the engine for the cheap stock one, which is 2,500. Sell the Westline V6 for 2,007. Just gives us a couple £100 more. Everything else should be stock, but we'll just double check. Yeah, however, it does have the flatbed on it, so we'll uninstall it, sell it for 4,900. Great, so that puts it back to basics. We may have to buy this back in a minute, but we'll see. And then again, we'll retain this one into truck storage and sell it. All these that we've got as part of the DLC downloads from the various versions of the game, apart from that one which I bought today, which I'm gonna put into my other play because it just looks so cool. My rule with these is I won't use them in the game, and I probably won't even sell them either. So I'm just gonna, essentially they're just not there, is the way I'm kind of approaching that. Right, if we go back to the local map, go back to the Chevy. Now the only thing I'm going to do here is drive the Chevy all the way back across the map and sell it. So to save a lot of time and to make the recording a little easier, we're just going to recover this straight back to the garage on this occasion. Again, I don't think there's anything that's been put on here that's other than the utter stock. No, so we're all good. Chuck that in there. Just chuck in the truck storage. If we sell that now, oh, I don't think we quite got enough, have we? So that gives us 94,150. The truck we're after, go away truck store. Truck we're after, which we're gonna have to go to Russia for. Yes, it is. Yes, we can do it. 93,800. So what we need to do is come out of this, go into global map. I don't know how to say that. Timia? I mean, how ignorant of me. What was that notification coming through? Ah. Can you tell that I'm new to recording? Maybe I'll figure that out by the next time we talk. And I'll stop my notifications pinging through on the recording. Right. Into the Drownlands, into the garage in the Russian Federation. From here, we can go into here, and there it is, one of the first ones on the list. The Azov 64131, 93,800. We've just about got enough money because we sold that trailer in Alaska. So we're going to purchase that. Purchase and deploy, thanks very much. We can't customize it because we haven't got any money and it ain't going to work. So we're going to chuck it back into the retain it, back into global map, back to Michigan, reopen our garage, jump the map back across. One thing you may not know if you're new to this game, is when you jump between the maps, the game remembers the roads and the routes that you take. So the more you churn up the mud, the more it gets it stays in that way, the harder it is to drive through it. If you move to a different map and then come back to the map that you're on, it will reset basically the land, so the route that you took won't be so churned up. Again, a bit cheaty. I don't, as a rule of thumb, look to do that, you know, on a regular basis by any means, but it also is unavoidable. So when you do jump between maps, that is going to happen. Into our truck storage, bring up the Azov, and leave the garage. So now we're at night time. We can jump back into the map. We can move this forward to the morning. Jump back into the map, and what we'll be looking to do next is starting to unlock this map. We'll start heading around the watchtowers, do a couple of tasks, start building our money back up, and we'll go from there. And then as time goes on, I'll undoubtedly start sort of talking a bit more about myself and random things to talk to you guys about. But I hope you liked it. If you did and you found it in any way useful or just nice to listen to a bloke rattle on in the background playing a game you enjoy, then happy days. Please give me a like, give me a follow. And other than that, I will see you next time. Take care.